Ophiuchus. This is Rogue Mystic Divination, and thank you for tuning in. If you're new, please make sure that you like and subscribe. I do dailies, weeklies, and monthlies here on Rogue Mystic Divination. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. And my friends, my dear Ophiuchus, I am over it and under it at the same time. I'm just kind of... I've been dead for about a day, and now I'm just kind of letting everything that just does not want to work be things that don't want to work right now. So maybe that's where you're at. And if you are in the United States, this may be exactly a week to have that attitude, because not only do we have Thanksgiving to contend with, but we have the first of the month. So this is going to be your weekly reading from November 25th through December 1st. And for the year 2024, of course, but anytime you may happen to find this, it may work out for you. And if you see this in the future, and not in the year 2024, maybe you need to harken back to what happened that year, and maybe it's going to have something that connects with whatever it is that you find this. But for this weekly reading, we are going to do one card per day, and one card to wrap up the energy of the entire week. Like, what's the entire point? What's everything working towards, for, against, whatever it happens to be. And at the end of that, there will be a three card pick a card. You can pick one question and one card, whatever question you have, and pick a card to answer it. Or you can have 3 questions and apply them as you wish to the cards. So I will give you a yes, no, or a maybe, and then I will expand upon it. So for Monday, the 25th of November, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Even if there was something financially that wasn't working out for you, it seems like it's going to suddenly work out for you somehow. But make sure you don't... Someone comes to you with some kind of concern or some kind of need. It may be a false need, and they may just be trying to get money out of you. Make sure you assert your financial independence and say that I don't have to feed into this. This is not my problem. And later on, you may find out that there is something else that's going on. It could just be that someone else is being self-centered and they want what you have, and they're willing to give you whatever excuse it is that comes up that could get you to feed into this. It feels like it's just serving their ego. They want to see how much it is that they can get out of you, and they may end up calling you self-centered or selfish for not sharing an abundance that you have. But you got this for a reason. You got this for a purpose. Use it for the purpose and reason that it is that you worked for it. Because if you've been working for something for quite a while and somebody just happened to get wind of, well, you're doing pretty well, but you don't really seem to be spending the money, so you must be keeping it somewhere. You do not have to you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Your position is solid. It doesn't matter what kind of underhanded tricks that they may be, and I just noticed this, underhanded tricks that they may want to placate you with, or try to manipulate you with. But I open this reading saying I'm under and over it, and you may be too. And this Queen of Pentacles is upside down. So in the upright, she is facing the past and looking on what she did in the past to obtain her fortune. However, in this position, she's seeing things a little bit differently. She's seeing what she has and seeing how she can apply it towards the future. Make sure you're applying it towards what it is that you find is going to be a worthy investment for you. And for Tuesday, because that was just Monday, we have the Devil in reverse. Do not allow somebody else miscategorizing you or miscategorizing your actions, misrepresenting your actions or your intentions. Don't let them do that for you. And if someone is willing to believe that lie, just let them believe what they want to believe, because it doesn't matter what you're going to say. You're going to come off as though you're backpedaling when you're not. You're just trying to set the record straight, and they're going to see things as they want to see them. They don't have any will of their own, and a personal interaction is not a court of law, even though it may feel like it. You do not have to answer to people as to why you're doing certain things, and as much as you may want to shove their faces and some success that you have, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not even going to serve your will. It's not even going to make you feel good about yourself whenever you do it, because all you're going to do is relive all the work that you put in, all the issues that you had getting there, and it may end up with you trying to explain your beliefs, and these other people just don't want to hear it. Or they're going to hear exactly the opposite of what you're saying, no matter what you do. Sometimes you just have to settle in the fact that you are the devil in somebody's story, and just live with that, because that's their choice. How they see you, with their perception of you, is their choice. It's not reality. There is something that's going to end up coming up where, with these people deciding to make these choices, these discernments to you, in front of you, possibly loudly, that you do this and you do that, and even though your intentions were good and it was supposed to be for the greater good of the group or of a selection of people, they didn't get what they wanted out of it because they were serving themselves, not the greater good. And it may be time for you to detach from these people, because nothing you do is ever actually going to help them. And it's not because you're not doing what needs to be done. It's because they may not even know what they need. Wednesday, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. So there's an idea that ended up being a deception, whether it was a conscious one or not. Someone is interacting with you and may have even had you under the impression that something was one way, so you acted in such a way to reinforce a positive action, but in doing so, you were actually doing something that was defeating the purpose of your intent. But not intentionally. This is going to cause you to... Somebody else manipulating you is going to end up causing you to express your feelings very clearly. And that's what's going to make you progress. Someone has aimed your body and your actions one way, but your mind is looking towards the future and seeing that your body is turned the wrong way, that your mind is being manipulated in such a way that's actually setting you back or sending you in a direction that you don't want to go in. You will be able to write this, however, and in doing so, you're going to end up here on Thursday. And Thursday here for Ophiuchus, you have death. And again, this is in the US, or if you have some other holiday or something that happens on Thursday, it's going to end up being an ending of something, and there's going to be a change that happens to where you may just decide to see this person as something, and maybe it's what they actually are rather than what you hoped they were going to be in your life. And it seems that it's strictly because of this manipulation, specifically here, but this could go back years, even decades. But this may end up being the final straw, and you're just going to see them for what they are, and you're going to allow them to have a place in your life, possibly, but it's going to be one that you decide, not what you want them to be, not what you hoped for them to be, but it does really feel like this could be a parent that wants to be a part of your life, but it's only because they see something that they can use you for or get out of you. And you seeing them as a parent or something to look up to, someone to look up to, is going to end. You're not going to see this person as an equal anymore, or even look up to them as a mentor. It's going to be a change of not only how you see them, but how you see yourself, because you'll realize that if that's all they were coming around to you for, then the reality of the situation could be that you were the provider all along to this person for something that you unconsciously were giving to them, because that was just your position with them. It was an unconscious placing. It was just maybe even a people-pleasing act on your part, trying to get some kind of acceptance. But that is going to end, and you're not only going to be seeing them in a different light, but yourself, and see how much it is that you've given to them, and how much they did not appreciate it or did not even recognize it. And for Friday, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And with a lot of these readings, I don't necessarily pick up on the sign that I'm reading, but I'm picking up on the energy around the individuals that may connect with this, whether they are Ophiuchus or whether they're another sign that's trying to get some kind of insight. And with the Page of Pentacles coming up with this, if this person that you're dealing with, or one of these people that you're dealing with, seems as though they agreed to something, or they promised they would do something, they're going to prove their true colors. Like, you want to have this faith in them that they'll actually do this, but you plan to be able to do this without them, and lo and behold, you're doing it without them. Now, this isn't for everybody, but it does feel like maybe going through parenting alone, or through a birth process alone because of someone else's inaction or inability to show up. And I'm saying that because I'm seeing like a nearly full-term pregnant woman. And someone getting distracted instead of helping her. For Saturday, there's the Ten of Pentacles in the upright. So there is going to be long-term success, but It's going to take commitment from you and work from you. There's going to be a persistent need to remind yourself that you can do this on your own, and you are the stability that you've been looking for in your life. Restricting yourself to taking care of yourself and maybe your family, your immediate family, such as your partner and your children, is going to get you further than you imagined in the past. Because of this death card here on Thursday, it's almost like you're going to have a rebirth with certain family connections, familial connections. And I just almost misspoke and said collection instead of connection. So you may actually be dealing with a Cancer. Cancers have a tendency to collect people, and without even really knowing how, they end up getting into each other's lives. But Cancers tend to collect rather than being born into the families that they're meant to be a part of. And you may end up finding yourself collected or collecting a Cancer. And of course, this does not have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a business partner or just a friend. And they could end up giving you some kind of idea or inspiration that allows you to further one of your ideas and strengthen your foundations. For Sunday, you have the Eight of Pentacles. It's a good card to actually have for Sunday if you're not, if you're someone who normally works on Sunday, you can totally just take the day off for some reason. Something comes in, schedules get moved around, and you don't have to work. At least not at what you normally work at. However, if you decide to take on a new endeavor, realize that the work doesn't always have to focus on perfectionism. It could just be doing things and shutting off your brain and letting things happen the way it is that they will naturally flow. You may also find yourself looking back on some previous work and understanding why the mistakes happened the way that they did, and understanding how your hard work was or was not being met and utilized by the people around you. Overall, it's going to be a good day for inner work and dealing with the practical aspects of yourself and understanding how your inner self interacts with the physical world, not just towards specific projects, but towards the most basic elements of the world that you interact with. And wrapping up the entire week, you have the moon. So secrets may end up coming out, but you may choose to stay in the illusion. Some dreams that you have may end up giving you premonitions or being omens towards what could be happening in your near future. And I do see near future because the moon changes daily. But don't be afraid to lean on your intuition the entire week. It may end up giving you some kind of premonition for how things are going to work out with someone, especially with that death card, because I can't stop thinking about that. And it doesn't feel like it's a death. It feels like it's a transformation of a very important relationship in your life and how you view it and how you allowed it to change you in the past. You're not going to let that still be something you have to deal with. But you're also not going to try and change it either. for your 3-card pick a card. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying as long as you did if you stayed this far into the reading. And if you just skip to the pick a card, I understand. So, 3 cards, 3 questions, 1 question, pick your card. It does not matter to me. It is up to you. For card 1, for Ophiuchus, you have the Fool. And your answer is yes. Any new endeavors that you start are going to end up still harkening back to something that you did in the past. And will take inspiration from something that you did in the past. But there are new opportunities to be had. And they will end up leading you forward. Make sure you don't let yourself get too carried away, though, and become too reckless. You can trust the way that the universe is trying to push you, but just because you're trusting in the universe does not mean you don't have to watch where your feet are landing. There is a path for you to be on, and it is just as much your responsibility as it is the universe's to make sure you stay on it, even if you're not sure where it's leading you. For card 2, you have the 3 of Swords in reverse, so you're not going to be able to it's almost like there's a secret that you're not going to be able to keep anymore. I keep hearing tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them. Someone could have been keeping a secret from you, Ophiuchus, and you found out about it, but you didn't tell them yet. You didn't tell them you knew because you didn't see the point in telling them that you knew. It wasn't going to do you any good, it wasn't going to do them any good, and it wasn't going to change the situation. And again, it does not feel like this is It doesn't feel like it's a romantic partner or someone that you find on even ground. It just seems like this is most likely a parent or someone older than you. And you didn't care about the negative information because you didn't really see it as negative. But you could see how they would see it as negative, which is why they were keeping it from you. And don't be surprised if they see this as a betrayal, you finding out about this and not telling them. Like they come to tell you that you're adopted and they're broken up about it and sorry they didn't tell you about it before, and you tell them, I know, I figured it out a long time ago and I don't care. And they're like, what do you mean you figured it out? I'm like, well, I found some paperwork in a drawer one day, or I just, discerned that I'm the only one in the family that has blue eyes and I don't look anything like anybody else in the family, so whatever, it doesn't matter. And they're almost a little upset that it doesn't matter to you, which is kind of odd. But if you had a yes or no question for that one, the answer is no, but like the other person's reaction is not going to be appropriate. And they may not want, if this is an adoption situation, they may not want you to find out who it is that you actually came from for some reason. Maybe more dark family secrets, right? And we have for card 3, Pile 3, question 3. The answer is yes, but it's not going to put you in the direction that you want it to. It's not going to take you or take the situation where you want it to. Your own beliefs might be something that are actually blocking you from seeing what it is that you need to see and actually sending you backwards, causing you to regress. When you're trying to think up a new idea, it's really just an old idea that you're trying to rehash and sound new. And if this is a relationship that you're asking about, trying to go back to an old relationship and for it to be different is not going to happen. You're just going to relive the same cycles again, and you're never going to really have the success or be able to conquer the mountains that you just finished climbing over. You're just going to be undoing the work that you put in. And you really are just creating conflict for yourself. Especially relationship-wise, do not go back into anything involving this person. Regardless of whether it's romantic or familial, it's just going to be the same thing over again. And it'll be harder to get over it the next time. But Ophiuchus, thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate you for staying this long and coming back. So please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, I have a link down below in the description box for my Ko-Fi page. Thank you for tuning in, and I should be back to regularly doing the dailies. So I do appreciate everything that you guys do, tuning in, liking, and subscribing. And everybody have a good week. Do not remember that relationships take more than one person, and just because you're being made to feel guilty about something does not mean it's your fault.